2, 1. Good evening, everybody. This is the voice of Aggroed, and you're listening to the Splinterlands Town Hall. I am one of the founders. The other founder, Matt, is not here with us. He's here with us in spirit. He's just not here, at this actual meeting. So today I'm blessed by a pretty standard, although, just amazing group of gents that are part of the Splinterlands team. And we get to know a couple new folks today. So joining us, I have Cryptomancer, I got Chatter, I got WeirdBeard, and I got Nate. So why don't you guys do like a quick round of introductions? Cryptomancer, who are you and what do you do around here?
Cryptomancer. I'm one of the main devs for Splinterlands. Been with the company over 2 years now. Been responsible for a lot of the big feature rollouts, and just recently finished bringing Modern and Wild to you. And next up, I'm going to be giving Brawls a bit of love.
Oh, that's awesome. Can't wait to see it. Chatter, who are you and what do you do around here?
Hey, I'm the Director of Growth and Marketing at Splinterlands, so really all the marketing initiatives and user acquisition is falling under my plate.
WeirdBeard.
I am WeirdBeard. I do esports and tournaments and recently have started getting into Brawls more and more.
Ooh, that's twice we've mentioned Brawls. It seems like we might have a little bit of a theme going on. And then Mr. Nate, the one and only, the lovely. How are things? Who are you?
I'm Nate, VP of Creative. I oversee the all the pretty stuff on the front end, UX, the UI, the art, the animation, multimedia, and all those cool lore stories.
All right. Do you think there might be some eye candy for us later?
If people are nice.
Okay, good. And it's sort of like you get 1 if you're good and 2 if you're bad. Okay, so anyways, Mancer, hit me up. Why don't you go? You want to like talk about? Well, let's first remind everybody what is Wild and Modern. How did that rollout go? And is there anything like on your immediate horizon for what it needs, or how's it looking?
Okay, so Modern and Wild. For those that don't know, that's when we split the ranked battle format into 2 separate formats. So when you play in the Modern format, you're playing with the 2 most recent new additions of cards and all of their subsets. And when you play in the Wild format, you're playing with all of the cards. So that the Modern format should make it so that newer players can be more competitive and don't have to compete against a lot of the older cards. And you can choose which format depending on your preference. The actual rollout of Modern and Wild went quite smoothly, considering what a big piece of work it was and how many different areas of the game it affected. I'm pretty happy with the way it launched. There were a couple small hiccups in regards to leaderboard placement and things like that. So I want to assure everyone that the leaderboards, everything should go back to normal. And that little hiccup should be resolved after the end of the current season. So you can just view this as kind of a transition season where things are a little bit crazy as we introduce the 2 new formats. And then the system should settle down as we move into kind of a new normal state of things.
Yeah, that's a week from today. So that's pretty good. Other than like a couple little hiccups here or there that were smallish, are there, like with ranked rewards, we were like, okay, we did this and now we have some other work that we see and we know we want to get done. Is there other stuff for Wild and Modern that or is like, okay, here are changes that we're still going to want to make? Or do you feel like we're pretty feature complete at this point?
So there's definitely some stuff that's on our radar for some follow-up improvements. On these things yet, but what we're looking at doing is bringing Modern and Wild support to both the practice and challenge modes, and also introducing Modern support for Brawl phrase. But that's still in the planning phases, so I can't give any dates or anything, but that will be coming at some point.
All right. Well, you just said the B word. So it sounds like Wild and Modern are in a good spot. We've rolled them out. It was a giant project. I think it was like 800 commits plus. Just a beast of a code base. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for making it beautiful and getting it out there. And now you have like a little bit of time here. So I think that we're putting you on like not quite a detour, but like let's go bang out a relatively small project, and that's with Brawls. Do you want to kind of talk about some of what you're doing in the Brawls space?
All right. So Brawls, yeah. We haven't had an opportunity to really make a lot of changes to the Brawl system since it originally launched. And now we're aware that with the growing user base, there are some challenges to Brawls, and it needs some updates and some evolution as we move forward. And one of the first big things that we want to do for Brawls are add the SPS rewards. So that's going to be the first thing that I'm tackling right up next. And
So
I don't think
that's in the white paper, right? Like we're not just randomly assigning them. That's part of the white paper.
Yes, that's right, exactly.
And
So
and then
we
how
always
big?
intended to add that.
How many rewards or how many SPS are going out every month?
Initially, it's going to be 2.5 million SPS per month allocated to Brawls, and as per the white paper, that will reduce at a rate of 1% per month, and rewards will finish after 65 months.
So, what can you talk on a high level how we're deciding how to reward people? Like, is it all going to Nate, or have we decided that we're going to spread rewards beyond just one person? Like, how do we even think about you have that much SPS on hand as some reward pool? How the heck do you distribute that in a way that's somewhat fair?
All right, so what we want to do with these SPS rewards is obviously we want to incentivize Brawl participation, and especially incentivize participation at the higher tiers. So we're in this situation right now where we have a lot of Brawls in Tier 1, and we have a lot of Brawls in Tier 2, but we don't see guilds moving up into Tier 3 or higher yet. And we want to kind of give guilds a reason to move up and kind of solve this traffic jam that we're in. And SPS rewards is one big mechanism to do that. So to distribute the SPS rewards, there's going to be a fixed amount of SPS available per tier, and it will be vastly, vastly higher for the higher tiers than for the lower tiers. So
Now,
you can expect to get small amounts of SPS in the low tiers and very large amounts of SPS in the high tiers.
all right. So the first thing. So broadly, I love it. I think it's amazing, and I think that there's so much that's useful for that. I guess the concern or the complaint would be if you do that, it's anti-new player. And why do you hate new players so much? And why wouldn't we just be egalitarian and give every person one SPS just for being here? Like, can you walk me through like some thoughts about how we like why is it beneficial to go reward the top spots as opposed to just like spread it out all evenly amongst everybody that plays?
So, first of all, I think one of the main things we want to do is, as this is a play-to-earn game and we want to have a sustainable long-term economy, the amount that you can get out of it is kind of commensurate with the amount that you put in. So if you invest more into the game and you build up your card collection and you really focus on having a nice competitive deck over time, then you'll be able to earn more rewards. And with Brawls especially, Brawls are meant to be a marathon, not a sprint. So we don't want it to feel hopeless for new players, but we want to give new players a long-term goal to strive for. We want them to be able to look up at the top of the Brawl system and say, wow, that's really fantastic. That is something that we can strive for and realistically be able to achieve someday. And we've already made one big change to chest rewards by adding merits to chests. And that's one way to encourage people to join a guild and get involved with the Brawl system, so they can take advantage of some of those merits they're getting from their daily chest rewards.
Okay. So it sounds like what we want is to go incentivize strong players and to really like maximize, if you are a leader in participation, that you're going to be able to earn more and more. Like, can you talk about, just a little bit how it's not anti new player to do something like that? Like, why is it, again, because we can answer that. I'm just trying to get multiple answers to this question. Why is it best to not just distribute it to all the lowest level guilds and have that be the primary way that they earn?
So if we did that, then I think, for one thing, it would take away a lot of the competitive aspects of it, and it would turn what's supposed to be a fun social game into more of just a plain old DeFi farming experience. And also, if the rewards are all kind of going out equally to everybody like that, then it devalues them for everybody. And there's less reason to strive, less reason to move forward and advance yourself.
Yeah. Again, I know I'm playing devil's advocate here, but these are going to be questions that we are fielding every single day until there's no more SPS and guild brawls. So I just want to make sure that folks are clear on, if you don't incentivize having a strong collection to be able to earn, then people might just make multiple accounts, or they might just have, no cards in the account and play trying to earn as much as they can. And it disincentivizes people from buying and owning cards. And that doesn't mean just disincentivizes them from buying from the company. That means that it disincentivizes like players collecting large collections from the market too. And so there's a real disincentive, and that, if ever you want to sell a card, but there's not reason to buy it, that hurts all of us. And so that's part of why when we look at stuff like this, we try to make it so that some combination of the amount of time you put in, the skill that you have, and the quality of your deck, those three factors together should kind of like equate for how much you should be earning. This game is proof of time, proof of skill, and proof of deck quality. And you really need all three, otherwise like it devalues it for everybody else. So those are some of my thoughts on this. I guess, are there other things that you want to share? Any alpha that you want to leak or kind of talk about in more detail? Maybe even timelines or what your first level expectations are.
Sure, I can give a bit more details. As usual, I don't want to go into any actual numbers just yet. It's way too early for that. But looking at kind of the broad strokes of the thing, so one important thing to realize is that the Brawl SPS rewards will act in kind of a similar fashion to how ranked battle rewards are given out. So there will be a fixed size pool of rewards available for each Brawl tier, and then those rewards will be divided up proportionally to all the guilds that participate on that particular tier, and also according to how well the guild performs. So, I mean, you guys can do the math here, but if there are 3 guilds in only one Brawl in Tier 3, those 3 guilds are going to get the entire Tier 3 rewards pool, as opposed to, say, like 50 guilds sharing the pool in Tier 2, or, I don't know, 300 guilds sharing it in Tier 1. So it's going to be pretty advantageous. And people are not going to be afraid to move up in tiers anymore. If you see a Tier 3 and you're like, oh, only a couple guilds, you should be thinking, holy moly, that is the opportunity for us. So, yeah, it's going to be good. And as far as timelines go, it's too early to really give even any rough estimates, but I would say we're looking at a matter of weeks, not months. So that's all I can say for now. Weeks, not months.
Yeah, so maybe this is in August. I think people should tentatively plan for it to roll out sometime in September. But there's some comments. Everybody has strong opinions about Brawls, and we've been trying to take this feedback, and this is a moment where we just finished a big project for the sake of like Cryptomancer's brain and quality of life. We don't want like back to back to back high stress big projects. Like it's really nice to get something small in between. Does that feel fair? Like, isn't that, it's not like a break, but it's kind of lower stakes, right?
Yep, definitely. I mean, I've been working on Modern and Wild it was about a 6-month project. And after 6 months, I'm ready to move on to something different. So it feels like kind of a fun, fresh change of pace to be working on some Brawl stuff for a while. And these are not changes on the same order of magnitude as Modern and Wild. So you can expect to see some stuff coming out faster. And then once I've made some improvements to Brawls, then maybe I'll move on to some other big major project like Land or something.
Yeah, I'm feeling Land. Land is definitely my go-to. Another option I know people have been asking forever is Guild Brawls, but I think, or not Guild Brawls, boss fights. But I think Land is a little bit higher priority, and I think boss fight should come out after Land. So that's my hope.
As well. As you can imagine, the bosses being located in certain pieces of land or having land to tie into it in some way.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I want to hop over to WeirdBeard for a second. We've been talking about guilds, like, and guild brawls in particular. Are there other things that have come out of your like Brawlhalla discussions that we want to make sure are on Mancer's plate, or just we should talk about in front of the crew here?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big ones was talking about fill rates for a lot of the frays. It feels a little top heavy in a couple different areas right now, where we're not seeing every single alpha and gold foil fray being consistently filled. So looking at some of those, I think is going to be important. Just getting people to get in there and compete a little bit more. And the other thing too, I think, is really making sure that we look at Cryptomancer had mentioned it, internally to us before, looking at stuff like items in the item shop, you know what I mean? As you upgrade the different buildings and whatnot, I think just giving some extra elbow grease. It feels like the game has changed so much in the past, I don't know, 6 months, let alone a year. That there's been new things in here, and like, how do we tie in not only Modern Wild and all these other changes that we've been making to make sure that Brawls are, in the 21st century with everything else that we're doing.
Have you solicited feedback of what kind of items that people would want in the shop and what things that they could impact?
Yes. We've done a little bit of it. I want to do one where we just get like straight, that's all we do is talk about stuff in shops. Like, I've kicked around an idea for one of a tournament pass, right? Like, you can get it out of a chest, and it allows you, as long as you meet the CP for a tournament, that you can get in and compete into any tournament type of a thing. I think I like bloodstones. I like the way that they work and everything like that, making sure that, people are still able to get in there and use those as well. And the other thing that I really think people are dying for to be able to get for items are just something that encourages or like rewards you for consistently filling all of your frays. Like, that seems to be a complaint that players have, is we're a guild that fills all of our frays. We're there every single time. It feels like you get penalized when your opponents aren't filling all of their frays. So, like, we're doing something to be able to reward those people who are on top of it every single time. I think would be a welcome addition.
Yep, I fully agree with everything WeirdBeard's been saying. So I also just want to make it clear that SPS rewards for Brawls is only the first change we're making to look to the Brawl system. I think there's been a lot of good, legitimate feedback about the phrase, and we can definitely look to make some adjustments there. That's definitely a factor in what's been holding back some of the guilds from moving up. And We're also looking at making bloodstones and power stones sold for vouchers in the shop rather than merits. So that's also a change that will be coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like that. I just saw in the chat Neil was saying, "What about vouchers for tournaments? Burning vouchers to buy your way in." I think that's another good one too.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things we talked about in even the tournaments town hall was would people be open to a mechanic of burning SPS as a way of entry into tournaments? And there was people who were interested. And I feel like that's kind of the use case for vouchers. People are always asking for more ways to be able to use vouchers like that. And I think doing that would not be a bad idea. But that's me. So
Yeah, and Dave McCoy has been saying the overall rewards to the top 5, like this was the initial design, and we haven't given any love for 6 months, and it seems like at least his point of view is that it's skewed to the top, and I think that point of view has some evidence because it's there's at the what do you guys call it, the congestion, or people are piled up in that one area. So I think looking at how we reward guilds even within a certain tier, I think it makes sense to kind of give that a second look and see is it doing everything we'd like it to do.
yeah, I mean, like that's what came out. I think I've mentioned it before that in the Brawls chat, Moros, a player all the time, has put up there that it just gets so stacked that it didn't make sense for guilds to move up because even placing top 2 in a lower one was better than losing and being 5th in a tier higher. So it's like consistently making sure that it makes like we just have to make it a no brainer. Players have to be able to look and go, of course, why would we not, what I mean, go up to the highest guild level that we could, as opposed to like weighing, oh, well, it really stops being, making sense because of this and this and this. Like the more times that we have people doing that, it's just not going to be fun to move up.
All right. Anything else that you want to add, WeirdBeard, about guilds and or tournaments and or whatever else like esports?
Yeah, two things. First thing, we kind of ran into a snag last week where we had more tournaments go back to the issue with the fleas. So we had to pause tournaments for a little bit. They've been created now. We are now facing again some stuck tournaments that just like it's annoying, and I apologize. If anybody encounters a stuck tournament or brawl or anything like that, posting that in the Discord where I'm checking is the easiest way to get it resolved. Um, we hope to not have them. Like nobody is wanting stuck tournaments or brawls. But, we'll try to get those resolved as quickly as possible. And the other thing as well is we had a really good partnership meeting today. With a company. I don't want to name anything yet, but one of my favorite things that I kind of got out of it was being able to talk to them, and they do a lot of the like large endemic esports teams, and they really enjoyed Splinterlands. And the number one reason why is they go, so many other businesses and games approach us and try to like leech and steal our fan base. Like they want us to pay them for the opportunity to be able to steal their fans. And they were like, Splinterlands, you guys have like a dope community and it's so cool. Like they were more interested in working with us. They didn't even care about the game. They were like, we've seen how active the community and the fan base is, and approaching them, it didn't feel like, hey, we're just trying to steal your fan base. It was more like, hey, we'd love to be able to bring some awesome partners on board to, interact with our cool fan base. Like our guys are dope.
Yeah, I mean, I love our community.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, I think I have taken more crap from this community than nearly anybody else in the history of this community, and I still love these dudes. Like it's blockchain is a tough world. There's no other way around it. That like it demands attention in the good times. People like they always want more return on their time and financial staking for less work and less financial staking. And there's never ever an end to that. And they want things faster. They want everything to roll out perfectly. And it's a very demanding audience. And I know Neil is taunting me a little, but that's the thing, it's just like there's a lot of it's a lot of challenge, and even still after all these years, I'm just in love with this place and do everything I can to help it grow and make it awesome.
I mean, that's the thing, is we're gonna do something cool. Like, there's so many things that I'm so glad Cryptomancer's being unshackled, even if it's not him that I want to drag into Machiavellian plans of things that I hope to be able to do. Getting Modern Wild done is so just refreshing, I think, for the entire team, because it's like, it's a huge weight. You know what I mean? Like, it's out there, it's live, it's happening now, and now we get to look at new and more stuff.
Yeah, Rift Watchers is coming in the not too distant future. I'm hearing rumblings about validators going live. There's stuff in the pipeline. There's stuff that just keeps moving, and that a lot of this all comes back to the February meeting down in Florida and trying to like rearrange teams and get this thing so that we're moving faster and really taking like advantage of the like 150 person team that we have to go crank out content. And from my perspective, looking at this, this is not like it's not just like doubling our speed. It still feels like we are 4x, 5x of what we were before. And not only that, but the quality of what we're putting out is better. If you look at Rift Watchers art and the stuff that we've teased out, that stuff is just amazing. It's gorgeous. So that's from everything I've seen, and I was already thinking that it was pretty amazing in Chaos Legion. Okay, I want to keep moving on. We spent a bunch of time here. Anything else that you want to add, Cryptomancer, before we go?
One more thought. I think once we see kind of the log jam of guilds stuck in tier 2 start to move up into tier 3, and guilds spread themselves out more across the tiers, I think that's going to resolve a lot of the difficulties we've been seeing in combination with the planned changes. So one reason people might be afraid to move up right now is they might be thinking, we don't want to compete against the very top guilds in the game. We're more of like an average, middle of the road kind of guild. So, I mean, once all the top guilds have moved up, then you'll be competing more against the guilds that are more at your level, which was always the original intent of the Brawl system. I mean, the guilds should naturally kind of separate themselves out into the tiers that are appropriate for their level, so you're facing kind of the same level of competition. So I think that will help things as well once they start to get spread out a bit more. And as usual, we're going to have to evaluate how it goes and see if more follow-up changes are warranted after that, because that's always kind of our methodology, right? We make a change, see how it goes, we see if there's any follow-ups needed.
Yeah, and seeing how it goes includes, collect a month of player feedback, and that'll be part of it. And maybe we don't nail it perfectly. I'm always hopeful that we do a nice job and we take in feedback, but rather than like immediately change things if anything is wonky, we give it like a month or so. I think 6 months was a little bit longer than we meant to, but that's all part of this, and a lot of that is to make sure that we take in player feedback. And we have to interpret player feedback. Oftentimes it's this is broken, that's broken, do this, do that. But what we really do is try to like take all of this feedback, isolate root causes, and then design something that's going to work to fix it. And that doesn't always just come in like a day or two. That takes some time. So I know the players get frustrated, but hopefully as you've seen with rank rewards and other things, that as there are problems or things that aren't working, we take into account player feedback and we tweak them. All right, I want to go. There were WeirdBeard didn't do all of the things that I know are coming out of marketing, so I'm wondering if Chatter wants to go kind of like chime in and go walk us through any news, any updates, or things that we might be excited about.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the first thing to start out with is really just starting out on the influencer side of things. So we've been having a lot of talks behind the scenes with a ton of different kind of YouTubers, Twitch streamers, so on and so forth. But really excited to announce that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Ali Straza, for all those Hearthstone OGs out there, is going to be starting to stream Splinterlands for us. So that's going to consist of a couple different streams on Twitch, some YouTube streams, and then a whole bunch of other kind of social posts as well.
Can you put a link to her any of her socials?
Yeah, just posted right now.
Great, thank you. Right, so so who is this person? And if you're not a OG Hearthstone buff, who is this woman, and why is this a big deal for us?
Yeah, so she's been around since like almost like day one in Hearthstone. She's one of like the OG names in the scene there. She's been streaming for years and years for Hearthstone now. She's a pretty well recognized player, playing in like the top kind of 1% of I think everyone in Hearthstone altogether. But she's been wanting to get more and more into the kind of Web3 side of things, starting more so with the kind of reaching out and looking at DeFi projects and tokens and everything else. And as of late, been getting more and more into GameFi. And so she's been kind of assessing multiple different games, and Splinterlands is really where she wanted to land, and end up having a great conversation with her. So she's going to be kind of helping stream the game. So I've delegated my entire card deck over to her. So you're not going to see me playing in the next couple of weeks, but she's going to hopefully be staying around the community for a little bit.
So have you done any research into it? Some video game crowds hate NFTs, and some people are open to them and some people hate them. Do you have any thoughts on, what kind of can of worms we're opening by bringing the Hearthstone community into the worldview of the Splinterlands community?
Yeah, I think it's always going to be a bit of a mixed bag of opinions there, but having someone who's really recognized in the space to back us and to really lead the charge into that whole scene of things, I think is a great step forward into, one, just getting more familiar in the Web2 space. I mean, her streams are anywhere from 50 to 20,000 people watching her Twitch streams over the course of her streaming in any given session. But she's also a very familiar face. She's a trusted face in the community too. So it's not her coming in and say, hey, check out this GameFi project that's a month onto market and could be a huge rug pull 3 months down the road. It's, hey, this is actually a really exciting opportunity to look at Web3 gaming. I've gone and done all my research. I've played multiple different Web3 games, and Splinterlands is really where I've decided to stay. So here's how we start leading and building into their community. And hopefully we can start doing some more marketing into that side of space too.
TCG. I just wanted to add, TCG players are the most likely to be crypto adjacent already. Like, it's, if you were to go and pitch this to like the Final Fantasy crowd, or players who are like Bloons players, or you know what I mean, like traditional like hardcore mainstream gamers, those are the ones that are really angry about NFTs. They've been hurt by monkey pictures. But when you talk about like Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, people who have worked in like local hobby shops, right, that do physical card trading and stuff, they like over a 2/3 more likely chance to be already involved in crypto or adjacent and interested in crypto. So like, these are our people, you know what I mean, of who we kind of want to be talking to.
Yeah. We should try to get her into one of these town halls so that she can go sort of address the parts of this that she likes beyond just the stream, but kind of tell us through the official channels. Because I think it's really exciting. Matt and I both came with a Hearthstone background. I have like a small Magic background, but I certainly played a ton of Hearthstone. And we both got frustrated with Hearthstone. One day I really figured out how the game works. And the whole thing is just like getting your ability to pop before the other player. And you only have like 5 valid decks to choose from where you're going to have the best chance of having that first big pop happen. And the second that it all sort of dawned on me how that worked, I was like, I never want to play this game again. And I had spent like a couple years playing, and it just like when it really sank in, I was like, this game is no good. And so that's part of why I'm like, I just love the aspect of how we have different rule sets and different cards, because like in Hearthstone, it was like the one, you need this card to be competitive with this deck. And if you don't have it, you're done. And here it's like, well, in this card is so overpowered in this specific rule set under these conditions, and it's totally useless over there. And like that mentality is like infinitely healthier and better to me. But that, I'm sorry to rant. So what other stuff is out there in that we should talk about for her coming and becoming a Splinterlands fan and gamer? Like, has she played a game yet? Is she coming in blind, or is she like, already in here and smoking the noobs that are listening to this right now?
I'm not sure where she's at right now. We've done a few training sessions leading up over the past 2 weeks. She's been playing all day today as well. So she's definitely not going to be going in blind tomorrow, but not sure where she's ranked. I'm sure she'll probably be champion or something by end of tomorrow.
That's so exciting. Okay. So yeah, who's training her? Like who's gonna teach the star how to play?
I mean, it was me. I was finishing high diamond. Okay.
Do we? Are there any other trainers in the house? Anybody? Anyone?
Yeah, Bulldog, where you at?
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll pick up pretty quickly though.
Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah, there's definitely some montage that has to happen here. Like do 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 do, and you see her like, buying her cards, doing some push-ups, going on a run, reading through more Splinterlands. There's definitely a montage in all of this. All right. Beyond the montage, what else are there other updates, or is that like that one's pretty good? Are there other things that you'd like to talk about as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest one. We're still kind of plugging away through the other things, the Wonder Music Group and like tower defense games and everything. Those are all being worked on in the background. Having some really big calls with some big partners. Nothing official yet, but like the HyperX, Samsungs, all those of the world have been talking to us, some about sponsoring Splinterfest, some about getting in as like more long-term sponsor, hosting some events in their like flagship stores, so on and so forth. But hoping that some really exciting things come from those. Otherwise, really just kind of continuing on trucking as always. With regards to Splinterfest, we're going to have a deck out next week with all the information about it for you guys. That's going to include like ticket pricing, whatever else that would be really needed to book your tickets and learn about the event. Futurist is going to be happening. We'll be in Toronto, myself and 16-bit, August 8th to 10th at a conference. So if anyone's around to Toronto, definitely let me know. Hit me up on a DM. Otherwise, there's going to be a big announcement that should be coming next week. So this time next week, keep your ears peeled because you're not going to want to miss it.
Look at that tease.
Mavs short of 1,000 in Mavs channel as well. Just thought I would shout that out. This community is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, somebody is noting that you said something like tower defense game. What is a tower defense game, and what does that have to do with Splinterlands? Do you want to say anything about that?
For sure.
Or do you just want to leak a little alpha and run?
I can touch on it a little bit more. It was what Hardpoint was talking to the other day, or I guess a couple weeks ago on the stream. So we're looking at potentially building a kind of sister game to Splinterlands. It's still in discovery phase, so this isn't like 100% going to happen thing. But in the next couple of months, if we decide that this is going to be a great step forward, we are going to be fully committing and building the game. What that's going to look like, to my knowledge, is interoperability between Splinterlands and this tower defense game, where you can use your NFTs or the cards to actually trade between the games and use them as units or turrets or bunkers. Whatever else, that's still kind of TBD what it looks like. But hopefully, if everything goes well and goes forward, there'll be a lot more to come on that.
Yeah. So what I heard recently is that sort of like the high level design of this game, Matt and I should get a look at it in about a month or so, and then assuming that we're happy with it, he and I are prepared to sort of greenlight this. So so we're excited. I know that, and just so you guys know, this is like kind of as we talked about with Clay coming on a while back and doing some of like the arcade and what that might look like. This seems to be like a project that we'll do with a third-party developer. So, anytime that we talk about doing anything new or putting anything on, the first thing in my head is like, yeah, you're going to go do this tower defense game, but you haven't finished land. What the hell is wrong with you? And first off, I guess I'd say we're still working on land, and it's a bigger project than we anticipated. And secondly, this thing is it's a third-party developer that we're working with. So it's not Splinterlands team members that are going to be the ones driving this. And I think that's kind of a big deal. because it's like additional staff and additional people coming on board and learning our system, and so I think that's kind of a big deal. Just because it won't set us back, any further on land.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else that you wanna leak about what we're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought of this now. I mean, our design team may kill us, and by design I mean Alfred or Gucci. But some potential designs for merch coming up, I can potentially leak, and hopefully don't get my head chopped off for this. But
yeah, let's do it.
Tossing that in the chat now. There's 3 of the kind of like t-shirt concepts that Alfred's been working on. We're working on potential different variations as well for Splinterfest too. So for those who are attending Splinterfest, there's going to be actual designated merch that you can't get any other time.
Yeah, is that a llama in your pocket?
Or you just have to see.
I like this. I like that eyeball. I'm always bummed that I didn't really force it to be Cornelius. It's like a little bit different than that, but anyways, I can dig it. All right. I mean, that's a pretty good set. We'll see what the people think. All right. So now, for real, are you done, or is there anything else you want to leak and put out there?
Done. I'm out.
All right. Sweet. All right. High five, chatter. That's a great update. I'm excited to go sort of get our level up our streaming, and that's super awesome and really exciting. And hopefully, she can help us grow the stream. It's a big deal for us. Okay, and now I want to get Mr. Nate on here, and then I'm going to have a whole bunch of folks to introduce. So, Nate, you want to go? What's your highest priority? What are we breathing down your neck? What are we building, and what are you hyped about?
Well, I was hyped, but now I'm a little sad. I thought Cryptomancer was my friend, but when you said, "Hey, should we give all the Brawl SPS to Nate?" he acted like you didn't even say it.
Yeah.
I'm a little put out right now. I was already mentally imagining using all the SPS to buy like a giraffe that I could ride into war and outfit with cool gear, and now those dreams are gone.
Shucks.
So-
Did I forget to mention the admin share for Nate?
Yeah.
Skipped my mind.
No, we're pretty stoked. I'm sure that it's going to get brought up at some point during this town hall. But as you're well aware, the tomorrow the airdrop ends. When the airdrop ends, we do intend to have a alternate UI that is going to be the community's first taste of what it means to have some additional UX UI people on board. We're kind of like dipping our toe in the water with different types of branding and typography and iconography and all kinds of different cool little flavor elements that we're trying to build a internal style guide that's going to push forward a stronger brand for the entire website, hopefully. So that should be cool. So keep an eye out for that screen as the airdrop ends, see how it kind of changes and looks a little bit different afterwards. And that's just the start. That dashboard experience that you guys will get a chance to see tomorrow is going to be quickly followed up by additional tabs and features we're going to continue to build on that dashboard experience. So that'll be pretty cool. We're pretty excited about that. There's lots of cool UX UI stuff happening in the interim, but and of course there's a lot of cool art and things that we're working on, Rift Watchers and meetings for land and all kinds of cool stuff. In fact, I think the 2 people that are immediately following me up, possibly or soon after I finish talking, are from creative team. We got Gotham, who's an animator, motion graphics guy, and then we got Edii, who's been around a while. She started off Candy Cow, and now she's with us full time, and she's working on the character art. So as they get on, I'll be sure to share some of the cool stuff that they do.
All right. Is there anything that you want to kick us off with in terms of a little bit of eye candy that we want to look at? Do you want to give us a sneak peek at any of the new what'd you call it? The new UX UI, but for the like your heads up or your dashboard. Any piece that you want to leak about what's happening next?
You know, it's not much of a leak to share the dashboard since it's kind of going in tomorrow, but we are working on the non-card market, which has gotten quite a bit into things. And I won't share it this town hall, but maybe next town hall I'll show a screenshot of kind of like what people can expect, because it's going to be cool for those of you who go to the collection screen in the market and you are hoping that someday the team would get around to maybe improving upon the sorting and filtering functionality and all that stuff. We decided to start off with the non-card market and then hopefully push that template over to all the other screens on the website to kind of improve that experience. So even though I'm not showing it today, show up next week. I'll try to have something. As a consolation prize, I will say that there is a mysterious caravan traveling the Splinterlands. Whispers of maybe a pocket dimension or a plane of existence somewhere where the party never ends. It's being, led by this weird, ginormous pig creature with 3 eyes. So I will drop that in here for those of you who want a taste of Splinterfest ahead of time.
Yes. I've actually been in that wagon, just so people know. It's a nice experience. As always, these things are looking awesome and beautiful, and stoked to go have that 3-eyed pig in this game. It's sort of like like in Game of Thrones, there was a 3-eyed raven, but that's so like cliche almost. Like you don't hear about a 3-eyed pig very much. So
True.
So much better. Yeah, and then like you never hear about, like, everybody talks about minotaurs, but nobody talks about llamators, right? Like I want to live on the edge. So I'm excited to see you do that, Nate.
Definitely Lamator.
Okay, so you got a couple people on. Do you want to go introduce one of them, and we can have them sort of say hi and talk about their stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we'll start off with our motion graphics guy, Gotham. He's been around for a while, actually. Gotham is instrumental in helping to create motion graphics, such as actually you see some of it. For those of you who watch the town hall streams, you know that there's some cool motion graphic that show up before and immediately after the town halls. He was instrumental in kind of getting some of the transitions and the effects and the cool typography flashing in and out of the screen and that kind of thing. And we utilize them quite a bit, particularly in the weekly lore stories. So if you've been following the weekly lore stories, they get voice narrated, they have motion graphics, they got cool stuff that happens. And oftentimes he will help with that kind of thing, particularly with or trailers. We've showed this a few times. We shared the link, but it's so cool. It's worth sharing again. It's that Jared Scar trailer. Gotham was very helpful in making that happen. So I'll post that link yet again for those of you who have yet to see it.
Sweet. Welcome, Gotham. Gotham. There we go. Are you saying hello? You're lighting up for a second. Hello.
Hello.
You're coming in a little funky, but so when you were working on the trailer, was there one piece that you were really focused on?
Not actually. Like I've got a series of artworks.
We're having some audio problems. Is that just on my end, or are other people hearing static?
No, that's everyone.
Yeah.
All right, Gotham. Why don't you work on your audio a bit? Maybe go get in a quick chat with somebody else and see if you can't straighten that out. I guess maybe do you want to go introduce Edii?
Sure. Edii has been also around quite a while. She is ever since maybe a little bit before Untamed. So it's been a couple of years that she has been instrumental in creating, helping to create the art. She specializes in just eye-popping colors. So if you guys have ever looked at the artwork and says, wow, the colors, the professionalism of the colors and the vibrancy and the highlights and the shadows and all that stuff that goes into really making the renders pop. That seems to be on the level of like Marvel, DC Comics. And I would agree. That's why we hired her. So we're really happy to have her on the team. And more recently, she's been doing more than colors. You know, she'll grab a sketch from one of the artists. She'll do the line work. She'll do the render. She'll do the colors. She'll take it all the way across the finish line. And we're all very pleased with her work.
Is there one card that you think exemplifies what you've done more than others, Edii? Or that you're super happy or proud of?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. And you sound a little nervous. It's okay. It's just us hanging out here. It's just a hangout.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Nate. Well, and I wrote, well, hi everyone. My name is Edith, but I prefer that you call me Edii, like Edward, but Edii. Okay, and well, yes, I am a 2D artist, and I am member of of the great team. So yes, I'm dedicate myself to make color and line art. Sometimes I do sketches, but my work it's all color, and well, it's really exciting for me. That I hope that you like my work. Hi.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, your work is beautiful. Is there a card that you're especially proud of that's in the game, or something that the players would recognize and be excited about?
I did a character, for example, Harvey of the Heaven, the video, and I did Octavia Shadow Melt. I did her, well, the character and the color and line art.
Sweet. Yeah,
Here, let me I'll drop in some stuff people will recognize. So let's see. We'll start off with, people know about the flying squid, obsidian, and Tarsa. So those are the ones that people would probably say, oh, okay, yeah, those are cool. I could understand why Edii's so awesome at colors. And then what I have to show, Edii, do you want to talk about, let's see, the ones I have. Now, if we want to share, these are sneak peeks of Rift Watchers.
Oh,
So,
let's do it. Let's do
so
it.
if people want to see Rift Watchers, let's start off with, I don't know, the Suidai Shaman. Do you remember that one, Edii? Apparently, it's a creature. It's a race of creature born of magic from what originally were boars. So they're like boar people.
Yes. I made this, and I'm sorry, I'm really nervous.
Oh, that thing is so awesome. That feels like it's straight out of like Studio Ghibli. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that would be like
I think
Princess Mononoke, right? Like that thing looks awesome.
Yes, thank you. I'm really love to add color. Sometimes I want to do all characters, but when I custom rate to do color, well, I do it. And yes.
Well, just to give you an idea of the difference between, like, Edii will usually collaborate. Sometimes she'll do the sketches herself, but other times she'll collaborate with one of the other artists and grab sketches from them. So there's bang a sketch, and she'll grab the sketch and she'll create magic with it. So, for example, this is for those of you guys want to get a glimpse at a Riftwatcher summoner. This is an epic summoner for fire. A dwarven female named Skargor. And so that's the sketch stage. And then once Edii gets a hold of it, she just works her magic. And so this is where it ends up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes, I remember that when I create the outline, well, the line art, and then I add the color. I remember that Mari and Alfredo told me that they want to be more character like comic. So, well, I want to experiment and different colors, and well, I watched like Overwatch, and I want to make this character with the color like Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean everything I see out of Rift Watchers is like breathtakingly awesome. And it just adds it, I already love my game and I already love this art and I love these cards, but it just adds like another level of depth to see things that look this cool. I think Rift Watchers is going to be the best looking set that we put out by far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And let's finish it off with the grand finale. So this one is one of my favorites. That's the only reason I say it's a grand finale, because it's pretty cool. And it's based upon this mighty warrior who fell to Silas, the leader of the Chaos Legion, but his soul was preserved by his daughters somehow, which, you read the lore, get into it, and his essence of who he was basically transported into this construct known as Inevitable. And Edii was very instrumental in really breathing this character to life with her colors and her line work and all that stuff.
Boom. Oh yeah, that's pretty.
Thank you.
That's pretty.
I am a magician of color.
I mean, just the tones and the hues. I look at stuff like that and think, man, I could never draw or design anything that awesome. So we have such a phenomenal art team. I'm grateful that you're here, Edii. I believe you've been helping me for years, all the way back to 2014. So thanks for sticking it out. Thanks for working with us, and I'm so glad that you and your family and your crew are part of this team and helping to make our game as awesome and beautiful as possible.
Oh, thank you, guys. I want to thank for all. I'm really happy for work with you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Edii. We appreciate you being here. And then I have one more guest, and there's not really somebody to go introduce them. So it'll be my pleasure. Let's see if I can. Let's just go with Meokon. So Meokon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, guys.
Hey, you're coming in pretty good. So what do you do around here? Like, what's the gig, and what was your background before coming here?
Hi, guys. I'm working for support team. I'm one of the Guardian account management team, and I also doing streaming for Splinterlands TV.
Nice. So when you're doing support and it's like the account support, what's that look like? Who are you most likely to interact with?
I'm mostly working with my support team, accounts management. We have 5 people in our team, and mostly I will check in and verify the data and then send it to Crypto account management lead, and he will do the final step.
All right. So how did you even find Splinterlands?
Oh, I find Splinterlands via YouTube. Last year is COVID, and my city is locked down, so I want to find the way to get some money to help my family. So I searched on YouTube, and then I found Splinterland, and I love collecting cards and playing card games, especially like Yu-Gi-Oh! And collect cards like FIFA, you know. So I love Splinterland at the first look.
Do you remember what you searched for all the way back? Was it like play to earn, or what were you actually like putting into YouTube that led you to us?
Yes, I think I saw a video on YouTube, and I clicked it, and it led me to here.
Nice. Okay. So is there anything kind of like in the gig that you're super excited about, or you think makes a pretty big difference for the players on the other end?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
I guess if one of my favorite question types is sort of like, how would a player experience you having been a part of an interaction with them? Like what will make, or how will the player's life be better because you're working as part of this company?
I think our community is very great, and they have been a lot of each other's. Myself is like one of them too. Like the first day I'm here, the community helped me a lot, and especially tech support team. So that's why they inspired me to train and become one of the support.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times you can get players to try something or adopt it, but one of the things that I think really makes for like sticky adoptions is to go have a really great support team, so that if you have questions, your questions get answered. And just like you yourself saw, if you can get help, it's more likely that you will stick around and be part of our community as we continue to grow. So anyways, I'm moving into the next segment of this show. Thanks to the new people. Oh no, yeah. Did we try Gotham? Is Gotham's
he switched
sound
the phone
back?
He switched the
Gotham,
phone.
are
So
you
we're gonna
there?
try that.
All right, Gotham, hello. Hello, Gotham. All right,
man,
I think we're gonna have to pause for a week and go work with Gotham a week from now. So in the meantime, what I want to do, let me go. Ron sent me the questions, but if you guys can put into chat the blurb about starting up with player questions. There's not many questions, so I think we're going to fly through these things pretty quickly. There's one page here, and then after that, we'll just open up to any questions that you guys have. So the first question in this is Splinterfest. Can we get more specific info on Splinterfest, cost, event, etc.? The travel costs keep getting more expensive the closer we get, but we still don't have info to decide if we want to go. Chatter, that's coming out this week. Isn't that what you said?
Early next week is when you should expect everything.
Okay. Yeah, and that still gives you like a couple yeah, that's in October, right? So that's a couple months before you like booking a couple months early should get you like maximum discount. Anything that you want to put in chat regarding just like the basics, I think would go over well so that people can, at least have the dates again. We should just assume that we have to put that in a couple times over. Yeah. All right. Next up, here's reward changes is the section. Is Splinterlands intentionally making it so players have to own cards to turn a profit? The recent changes specifically attack those players who are only renting cards, and now it is no longer profitable or worth playing. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean, we definitely want we want to make sure that somebody owns cards. It doesn't have to be you. You can be renting. We're not anti-renters. We love renters, and we think that they're awesome. So the recent changes are really, I think you're describing the 2-day rental, and that part is less about trying to hurt renters and more like making sure that an exploit where you could play down and redelegate or something like that would cause financial damage to the whole community. So it's kind of like a workaround of how we make sure that there's not exploits within the rental system. It's not like, let's go hurt the renters. But obviously we want card ownership. That's like the number one thing that we want overall. What are the early numbers looking like for DEC rewards cards distributed since the reward changes were put into place? Well, some of that is in the post, but without Matt, I don't know that I can pull up any numbers for that, but let's go save that for like another week. And not trying to avoid the question. Let's just punt until we have the right dev to answer it. What's the average merit pull from chess per league? We are seeing some screenshots of players getting 12K merits in a single day. This seems crazy compared to what we can earn from Brawls. Any thoughts on that, especially Cryptomancer? What do you think about merits per brawl versus getting them in season rewards a little bit faster?
So one thing I'd say to that is that one of the things that makes merits different from other tokens is that they are soul-bound, so you can't transfer them to other accounts. So it's not like you could have a giant bot farm raking in merits with thousands of accounts and then consolidating all of those into one single account. So that lessens the impact a little bit. And also, you see people posting these pictures of like these huge merit rewards in chess, like, oh, this guy got 30,000 merits, or, oh, this guy got 20,000 merits. And yeah, that does happen, but that is rare. The average player is not going to be getting that many. But overall, I think it's fairly well balanced, and it's not really it's not a huge amount of extra merits in addition to what's being given out through the Brawl system.
Yeah, so I guess the answer is it's pretty damn rare that somebody's going to get that. So yes, they're posting screenshots like that, and it's super exciting, but that's also like a relatively uncommon event. So it's sort of like the gold foil legendary version of getting merits.
Exactly. People tend to post only the screenshots of those really good, amazing rewards. You don't see for each one of those that's posted, you don't see all the hundreds of average rewards that people are not posting pictures of.
All right, ranked gameplay. Has the team ever done an analysis on the accuracy of the rating system? Right now, it feels like it's a huge advantage to be the lower ranked player in a match. I'd much rather face a better opponent with a chance to get 36 for a win and only -3 for a loss than to be on the other side of that. My gut says this needs to be balanced, but I haven't seen any real data on it. Anybody here have an opinion on whether the rating system is too far skewed for harms the people that are already high too much, something like that? I'm not hearing from anybody, so I'm not sure that that's something that really resonates. I mean, I think it's supposed to be a challenge, right? And if you're playing much lower ranked people and you're losing, then you should be losing something. I'd much rather face a better opponent with a chance at +36 for a win and only -3. I hear one person saying it's a little bit too skewed, but I'm not sure that that's like a major problem. It's something that we can sort of keep an eye on, but I'm not, the chat's not lighting up and the other people here aren't going crazy with it. so let's move on. Rift Watchers. It was said earlier that Rift Watchers will have Epic Summoners. Epic Summoners have a quirk that allows them to play some higher level cards than other summoners. Is this intended, or will this be corrected before Rift Watchers releases these and these become popular? That is a feature, not a bug. We like that, and it's not so much a quirk. That's just like how they're designed, kind of like, legendary cards get to go summon, max level cards at level 4 rather than, level 10 or something like it would take for a common. So it's a feature, not a bug, and not something that I think we plan to change. All right. A lot of people lost money during the Chaos presale because a clear-cut plan for using vouchers was established ahead of time. Can we expect details to be released sooner this time so we can make informed decisions instead of investing on speculation? Yeah, I mean, we'll put out, I think this is a Rift Watcher question. So we'll put out some sort of white paper that describes what is Rift Watchers, how many vouchers do you need, when do you need vouchers, how does that work? And so you can go make whatever decisions you need. I don't know what part of vouchers we didn't explain. Sorry, you felt like the information wasn't good enough, but we'll try to put out as much information as we can. And then miscellaneous. Are there any future plans for SBT token after the airdrop ends? Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep putting out various NFTs that are collectible. We'll see if those collections ever get utility. If they do, then that would be sort of amazing, but I wouldn't count on it. And then, but we're still going to keep doing these kind of collectibles and moments and just things that you can own that, sort of mark big moments in the game rather than anything else. And hopefully as the creative team gets bigger and better, we can have some people that focus on this to make sure that these things are truly awesome. Okay. I think, did we get a date for Rift Watchers? Has that been publicly announced yet?
It's kind of like, probably in September. I mean, it's not impossible for it to be launched at late August, but right now I think the thought process is probably September sometime, but no official specific date.
Yeah. That's one of the things that that this company, our goal is to get stuff out as quickly as possible. Right. So, we're not a company that like completes something, sits on it for a month so that we can get like the exact headway and announcements and all of that out. We'd rather just build the damn thing, get it out, and have you guys be excited. So, I'm pretty certain that's going to be in September, and it's likely before, or very likely that it'll be for Splinterfest in Vegas. That's it for the questions. That was pretty fast. So now we have 45 minutes for whatever player questions that you guys want to do. This is one of the longest sessions that we have for this.
Now,
funky that it's happening at an evening when we have fewer people, but
Ag,
go ahead and do your worst, guys. We got
can you hear
time.
me?
I can, Ron. Oh, crap. Yeah. Well, while we're gathering some questions, Ron, you're right. We got to go do, Splinter, what is it called? Splinterlands TV.
Yeah, it's a Splinterfest TV or something. I don't remember what it. Yeah, it's something like that.
Splinterlands TV. Sorry, I got a brain fart. All right, you guys can keep posting questions as of Bulldog's announcement. I'm going to start questions there and go down the list. But Ron's right. We have to go do a couple shout outs and talk a little bit about the streaming, which it seems like we're getting some upgrades if we're getting pretty hardcore Hearthstone streamers that are coming our way.
Well, we don't have hardcore Hearthstone streamers on Splinterlands TV just yet, but guys, stay tuned for that. That might be something that could happen. We do have a big announcement that hopefully happens next week. So yeah, next week is going to be a big week for announcements. I also do want to remind people this has nothing to do with Splinterlands TV, but make sure to check out the event tomorrow. We're doing a live SPS airdrop countdown. That is going to be happening tomorrow. It's the event in Discord. It's on the public calendar. So make sure you don't miss that. But on to Splinterlands TV, we have, guys, listen, we're giving away a bunch of SPS just for making clips. We're giving away packs. Two streamers a week are giving away packs on their stream just for showing up. They all do it differently, but you know what? A lot of people get a lot of cool stuff just hanging out. The crowd keeps on growing. We're well over 1,400 followers. I think we're up to 50 subscribers now, which is people who are like giving Splinterlands TV's streamers money. This is it just keeps growing. It's going bananas right now. I just want to thank you all for being there, for being part of it, for making this stuff happen. Ag, did you want to do the shout outs this time?
Yeah, you put those in the list here. So first off, we have Kira. You guys all know Kira from the support team, and also having been like a killer in the Silver League. But he's got like the least pronounceable name for his actual town hall shout out, or his like his Twitch account. So I don't know if I can even do this because it's clearly just him kind of banging and then hitting Kira at the end. So I'm just going with Kira.
I think that's a different Kira.
Oh, is it a different Kira?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking too. Then Luthien said it. So yeah.
Oh wow! So I guess it's ASD FGH JK era. So welcome, glad to have you on here. We got Lordo, or I guess he's Lord or O Lordo. You know, these are getting into like weirdly pronounceable things. We got XX, a virus XX, which I think is just virus with some splash around the ends. Birds, bees, and trees, and somebody that's in chat today. We got Ape of Wall Street. So thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you for checking out Splinterlands TV. Glad to give you all shout outs and excited that you're part of our community. Thanks for watching the streams. Thanks for checking us out, and kudos for being a community member and really checking out how the streams are going. And also, it's first off, we should also mention that Ape of Wall Street has his own streamer show, so that's pretty exciting. That he's both watching and providing content. So kudos on that. Anything else you want to add, Ron?
Well, thanks for giving those shout outs. And yeah, no, Ape actually has two different shows. He's got one Monday nights, which I think let's see here, yeah, and about like 1 hour
midnight,
1 hour and 42 minutes from now. And then he's got another one, I believe. Oh, I can't do it off the top of my head. I usually have these things, but this list is getting long.
How many streamers do we have now?
53. We got 50,
that's awesome.
53 streamers. It's growing like crazy. We're about to go gangbusters and get pretty close to 24 hours. I expect that definitely in August. It's gonna be wild, guys. Sunday and Monday. That's it. So Sunday and Monday is his streams. Check it out here in about an hour and 45 minutes. He'll be over.
And I'm looking online and I see that Splinterlands is up to 3.6 thousand followers.
That's Splinterlands official.
Oh, that's Splinterlands official on Twitch?
Yes.
And that's different than which one? The Splinterlands TV?
Well, Splinterlands official on Twitch is 2.9 thousand followers, and yes, that is a different channel than Splinterlands. Splinterlands TV is actually live right now in the background while we're live over here.
Yeah, so that's up to 1.5 thousand. So these are great, moving along. I know that it starts with this, you got to start somewhere, and we're plowing through and making more content. So kudos to the team, and thanks for putting this together, Ron.
Absolutely, no problem. I'm excited. Listen, guys, the streamers are. I couldn't ask for a more wonderful bunch of people. They are all absolutely amazing in their own way. They all bring their unique personality and passion for the game. Definitely go check out some of these guys. Just whenever you have time, go check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how awesome each and every one of them are.
All right. Do you want to play a quip of the week or click? What is it? Clip of the week.
Yeah, I'll play the quip of the week. So this one right here won the votes this week. We're now voting for clip of the week, and this one by far got the most amount of votes. This is not real batch. You know, sometimes you put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into picking a team, and then the unexpected happens, and that's what happened in this clip of the week. So guys, check this out.
Okay, let's go with Bortus. Bortus. Kelp Initiate. Let's go with Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack Water. Demon Shark. Makapag Demon Shark na. Demon Shark. Where's the... What? 8 mana Demon Shark. Not worth it. It's not worth it. 5. Tas 2. Tas 2. Okay, ito. Let's go with Pelacor Bandit in the last position. And then we're good to go. Oh, nag-surrender na naman yung kalaban. Ano ba yan?
So you go through all that, and your team, the person you're playing against surrenders. Oh,
yeah, he knew what was coming. He just had that feeling, and said, "I'm out of here. I can't beat that team." Water Sneak, it's unbeatable. You just gotta retreat.
Well, guys,
okay,
that was the winner of this week's clip of the week. Everybody can submit clips. Both the person who submitted it and Not Real Batch won 500 SPS. The other runner-ups, the top 5, all win some prize. Guys, listen, Captain Wacko will be giving away packs. NFT Hunter will be giving away packs. Go check them out, Splinterlands.tv for the full schedule. You can find out what time they stream, and you will have a good chance of getting some packs. Just go check it out. That's about it.
Awesome. Okay, let's go through these questions. So I Am Gem is asking, as we know, DEC is currently below the peg value. With the current 4K DEC per pack will change after the SBS airdrop, specifically in the upcoming maintenance tomorrow. Nope, no plans for that. It's still 4,000 DEC, which means that as long as I don't know price off the top of my head. Let me go look at tribal decks real quick. And then tokens. So then DEC is trading at 560 Splintoshis. So that's like a 44% discount on cards. So if you ever wanted like a nice discount on buying packs, I mean, this is the lowest that I've seen it in a year plus. So, obviously if the bear market continues and the U.S. economy is trashed and the world goes to hell, then there might be a better buying opportunity. But I haven't seen an opportunity this good to spend DEC on packs in a long time. So, I can't tell you what to do. I can't give you financial advice, but all I know is that from my experience watching this, and I watch these kind of prices all the time, it is going to be hard to beat 560 Splintoshis and a 44% discount. That's pretty amazing. And if anybody is out there that's like a crazy whale and wants to go do like a super large purchase, something like on the order of $100,000, there's bonuses that apply for that, potions and things that make it even better. So I don't know. These are pretty insane times that we live in, and for the people that have dry powder on the side, it's pretty amazing. All right, Jen Marty's asking, what is the plan for these one battle people in Modern? This won't affect a lot, but it does affect people who are trying for leaderboards and would be disappointed if these people get rewards. That's the bug that Mancer was talking about, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that we really can do about it. I mean, you can imagine maybe we could put some minimum limitation, like maybe you need to do 10 battles to get on the leaderboard, or 15 battles, or whatever. But then those people will just do the minimum again, and we'll be right back to the same place. So I think really the way to view this is we had a little hiccup when we deployed Modern and Wild that led to this situation, but it is a temporary situation. You can view this as kind of a transition season as the system settles into its new normal, and this phenomenon should go away and no longer be a problem after the next season reset. So we only have to live with it for this one season.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can live with that. How many unique cards and Rift Watchers? Anybody know the answer to that off the top of their head?
Do you want me to say?
Yeah, I think that's okay to put out there.
Well, okay. You're the CEO. I will do as I'm told.
You're not told to do
ladies
anything.
and gentlemen, drum roll. The number of unique Rift Watcher cards will be, and this includes airdrops. For those of you who aren't aware, many sets have airdrop, just like the Chaos Legion core set has airdrops. So once you include that, it is a whopping 43.
Wow, that's bigger than dice for sure.
That's
exciting.
Twice as big. Yeah, and considering the fact that it's going to take SPS vouchers to get these guys, well, I don't know. You can take it from there, but big implications for the Splinterlands economy.
That's awesome. Is there going to be any guild combinations with land?
Did you mean to skip those 2 questions?
Did I skip 2 questions? I didn't. Have the rest of the airdrop summoner stats been finalized yet? No, they have not. They're not. They didn't put question in all caps, and that's what I generally look for. So here's another question from Bertu. Are power going to be incentivized after airdrop ends? This is one of the things that makes me excited collecting cards to increase power. Well, Matt has talked about maybe at some point we won't use collection power to go determine things, but in the meantime, it's still one of the limiting factors that keep people from moving up too much. So, the big thing is if you want to be able to earn in ranked rewards, you have to be able to get into higher leagues, because that's the design that we do has more of the rewards going to the higher tiers. So if you want to be able to earn as much as you can, you really want to be in the higher tiers, and that means that you have to have larger collection powers. So I would say stake as much as you can. All right. So can we enable intra-guild delegation of Gladius cards for newcomers to brawls and guilds? What do you think of that, Mancer?
Something we've thought about before, but I like the idea. I think that sounds pretty cool. So it's certainly something we can consider.
Yeah, I don't think that causes too much harm. I think we can do that. Will Splinterfest be very limited on tickets? Anything you want to share pre-announcement, chatter?
The capacity for the event is 1,000 people, so that's going to be our max for tickets. But anything below that, for your brain.
Question for general people: how many people think they would play both Modern and Wild? I don't know. We need emojis for that or something. I don't know. Anybody want to share their experience playing either Modern or Wild or both?
Sure, I will. So I started out playing a little bit of both, but I found out pretty quickly that Wild is more my play style, because I have a fairly complete collection of cards, and I'm used to using all of those old cards for my strategies. So when I tried playing Modern, it felt really strange to me, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. So Wild is more of a natural fit for myself.
This game is so different in so many different levels. You go from bronze to silver or bronze to diamond, and it's just like a different game. Kudos to the Bizzes of the world that play at all these different levels, because my brain can't keep it all straight. So, and I think you're right that when you get into Modern and Wild, it's how do I build a competitive deck with just these cards? Everything changes again. So that's a big joy, or a big part of the joy of this. All right, Ape of Wall Street. How will live in-person tournaments esports work? Is Splinterlands play to earn or play and earn? Will Splinterfest be streamed live on Splinterlands TV or Splinterlands official for people who cannot attend? All right,
I mean, that was a
WeirdBeard,
lot.
you want to take that first one?
Yeah. So how is Splinterlands esports, I guess? Well, how about this? We are having tournaments at Splinterlands. How is Splinterlands esports? I think that it's 2 tracks, as I've kind of talked about before. I think one of them is the like high rollers, like poker players. You know how they have the giant tournaments where it's like the high stakes, they get the bracelets and all that kind of stuff. But then you also need to have some sort of a skill-based version for players who maybe don't necessarily have access to the means of the resources to have all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Is it play to earn or play and earn? Play to earn has some common connotations of like there's no skill. It's like if you click this, you can earn. It's almost like grind to earn.
Yeah.
And I think we're closer to play and earn. But even that, it's like the term I like is proof of victory. Splinterlands is proof of victory. If you win matches, you get to earn. And some are going to say, well, that's just pay to win. And it's like, well, what it actually is that it caps how much you can earn at any given point in time. So like, you can't, if you're in bronze and you have a max level deck and somebody else does, you can't just like pay to beat them. Like it doesn't work. It really becomes, that's why we have these kind of cap tiers in there, is that once you're within that league, especially if you're at the high end, then, it's really not like pay to win. You are simply like competing against other people with similar deck quality. So I don't know. It's more like stake to earn, and it's like stake to earn and proof of victory had a child, and that would be Splinterlands. Okay, next up, Lord. I'd like to know if you want me to call you Lord or Lordo, or Oh Lordo. We'll see. Question: can we make the player names in the battle screen more prominent? Sometimes when watching a stream, it's hard to read the names and differentiate the players on each side. To better put this in perspective, most viewers don't watch the stream full screen so they can interact and chat. The streamers also have borders and overlays. The combination of this makes a gameplay window much smaller, even as little as a quarter of the screen sometimes. It's quite difficult to see who is who. A more prominent name tag would go a long way. I'll leave it to you guys to put that in the realm of possibilities. Will the DAO or SPS voting be able to change the print rate of some reward cards in print and to be released? I'm not asking for it. I just want to know if that's something that can happen in the future. Well, it kind of depends on how far into the future we're looking. One of the things is like we want to develop stuff, and then it's ultimately going to be up to the elected witnesses, which ultimately means the stakeholders, to actually implement it. So, if the witnesses are on board, which means that the stakeholders are supporting the witnesses, then they'll have the power to say something like, no, it's too many and we refuse to run it. So as long as we're kind of like in the ballpark, then I would imagine that the witnesses will allow it. And if they're not, then I'm certain that we'll get enough flame that things will change. Let's see. The question is, how many Rift Watcher cards will there be? I think Matt said on the stream earlier that we're going to do 5 million. Does that sound right?
I don't recall what the exact number is myself, but yeah, it'll be somewhere in
I
that
think I have that
ballpark.
backwards. So I think it's 3 million at $5. I was thinking 5 million at $3, but I don't think that's what we're doing. I think we're doing $5 packs and 3 million packs. I just remember that the total sale volume is 15 million. All right. Question: is there any chance to add more phrase to guilds to get more guild members involved? This comes down to like us having not put in the max level. Because we knew that some people would want to take breaks, and we think it's healthy. So there is a chance, and the way that chance can happen is if like we hear a steady outcry from the guild owners and the guild leaders that they want more people to add to the phrase, or more phrase per guild level. So if that's what the players want, we designed it to try to meet what we thought would be the players' expectations. And if players want something different as a group, then we'll make changes. That's a relatively small change to make. So you ultimately have to work with other players to figure out if they want that or not. And that the Brawlhalla is a great place, when WeirdBeard is kind of hosting those. That's my suggestion. Ape of Wall Street got missed, so editing this. Will Splinterfest be streamed live on Splinterlands TV or Splinterlands Official for people who cannot attend? I thought somebody answered that the answer to that was yes.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, I don't think it was missed. I think it was part of that, but I do agree that it was short in there. Question, well, more of a request. When viewing a recent match, can we update the UI to showcase the match modifiers on screen before hitting the rumble button? Be nice to be able to view the lineups and speculate how they'd match up before seeing the action start. That kind of like UI change feels like a good place for feedback.splinterlands.com. So we're still reviewing that. We still look at that. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. So I would put that there and see if that's something that the players in general want. Question, I know the leaderboard has been said it's on the Slack to be reevaluated, but is there any consideration for a ratings penalty for the accounts that go low power? All that, those kind of questions all live within the team that's like the ranked rewards. So those guys are working on it. They look, they're constantly evaluating what they think are the highest priority items. So I don't know the answer to that question specifically, but there are teams of people that look into that. Bootops is here. Welcome back, Bootops. Will we be able to pretty much squat on another person's land if I don't own the land? Yeah, we've been tossing around. What do you do with like fallow land, and especially if there happens to be like a castle that somebody owns, but then they never implement? What happens then? So we've been looking at all these things to see what we think or what we can come up with. I don't have an answer yet. We'll answer stuff like that. Yeah, Eldon is. I think he's answering correctly here with 3 million packs at $5 each. Timashon is asking, are vouchers likely to be required for all Rift Watchers packs or just the pre-sale and bonus packs? I think it's the latter of those two, but until the white paper's out, there's no 100% answer. Cardtrine is asking, what ladder are you guys playing, wild or modern? WeirdBeard, Chatter, Nate, you guys want to answer that? When you guys play, are you in wild or modern?
I'm typically like Cryptomancer said. My comfort zone, my safe place is wild. That's where I get to play all my old favorites, Lord of Darkness and Skeletal Assassin and all that good stuff. I have to admit, I do play modern as well, just not as much as I do wild.
Ron, you're here. Do you want to answer?
I'm a wild man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm a wild man. My collection is so old school that I would never know how to play with just like modern.
The modern meta is hard. It's freaking hard, man. You don't have a Lord A. You don't have. I mean, there's just so many of the staples that are missing out of modern. Where, yeah, I mean, if I was forced to play it for a month, I'd be probably pretty good at it. At least get the idea of it. But man, I'm lost there.
You're a wild man.
I'm a wild man.
We all know it.
You can't chain me
all
down.
Right,
modern.
Nachos is asking, how many of the legendary summoners art are finished for Chaos Legion waiting to be unlocked so far? Nate, is that your baby? How are the legendary summoners coming?
Yeah, all the art for all legendary summoners is complete.
Do they all have stats yet?
No. Matt likes to add stats one by one. I think, and it's not just like he doesn't want to put the work in or anything. It's more like he does take care to look at the current game mechanics and balancing at the time that the airdrop is actually taking place. So, he's probably waiting to see the analytics of how the Grandmaster Wraith and how that's having an effect on balance. And he's probably, he takes these considerations and analytics into play when he does the stats. So he tries to take as much time as possible before he finalizes it.
I just lost my spot. What? Anybody see the time on the last question? Oh, here we are. Can we get After Sound signed with Warner Music Group, get in a studio with peeps like Ed Sheeran and Imagine Dragons to make an entire soundtrack for each major set release? Then we can own the songs as NFTs. I that is beyond my ability. Sometimes people ask me like, "Can we do this?" And it's like some other company. I'm CEO of Splinterlands. I'm not CEO of Warner Music Group. So I know that question is probably in jest, but I just can't. I can't act on behalf of other companies.
I will say this. Question. For those of you who are going to Splinterfest, this is another incentive. I am trying very hard to get After Sound down there and on the stage for the creative panel to strum us a song. So we'll see.
That'd be awesome. All right. Why combined cards are cheaper to rent and single are rented for higher APY? Do you have any plans to make it profitable for players who want to rent to others to play and just collect rent money? How to motivate people to combine cards since we can't uncombine afterwards? This to me just feels like generic Splinterlands economy stuff. And there are a lot of market-driven forces at work. How much can you earn by renting? How much can you earn by owning? Do you want lower level cards and level 1 cards because you can move them quickly? Or do you want higher level cards because they can earn more? If you have all these cards compiled, do you have to offer bigger discounts when you sell them? Like all that stuff is just sort of like market forces. So there's not, I don't know. I don't have any answer for you other than, there's market forces in play, and that's how this whole ecosystem operates. Is that whiskey? I don't know who is drinking, but I don't know if it was whiskey. I doubt it. Luthien is confirming it's a different Kira, so that's good to know. So is Lord Sentinel, and Splinterlands, and yeah, the Kira is not me, so we're confirming that's not Kira. Okay. What else do we have here? Question. This is from J. Ron, the meme father. This is at 9:18. When will we get some more info on the next summoner? Can we make our own avatars? Is Monster Fusion a possibility? When will we get info on the next summoner? Probably when it's closer to the actual launch. Can we make our own avatars? Not at this time, but maybe that's something that will open up later. And is Monster Fusion a possibility? Monster Fusion is funky. Maybe I saw the card above, but then I didn't look at read the text. I had to keep focusing on what I was doing. But generally, anytime that you're like combining two separate things or something, it gets funky in terms of like card balance and how that operates. So I got to know more about what Monster Fusion is before I can really answer that. But just at the high level, it sounds like it would be funky. Let's see. Dave is asking, how do you feel as the airdrop has finished? Well, first off, I'm just glad that you're asking about the airdrop. And thank you to all for creating this amazing project that has helped change the lives of so many across the world. I am so glad that we did this airdrop. It was awesome. It was exciting. It got people stoked. And, the launch of the SPS has been just astounding. It's been frustrating to be sitting in a bear market where we went from $70,000 Bitcoin down to 17.5. That's pretty low, and you can see it in all these different tokens and projects that that prices got hit across the board. And there's going to be a washout, not just like the 3ACs and it's not just Celsius, but a lot of these smaller gaming projects and companies just can't make it and don't survive. If we as a company survive this bear market, and I have every expectation that we will survive this bear market, we're good for many more months before anything bad would happen to us. But at the end of this, on the other side of this is a bull run, and because that's what happens when the bear market ends, the bull market starts. So at some point, the bear market will end and we'll enter a bull, and I think that'll be super exciting. And if the bull market is hitting after the SBS airdrop has ended, that's pretty exciting because there's fewer SBS coming into the pool, and so that will put significant reduction on the sell pressure. So that's exciting to me. Let's see, so I'm super grateful that we did it. I think it was awesome. And then I'm super glad that it's over. I think that we spent a year distributing tokens and we did it to all the stakeholders. I think we tried to treat our players as best as we could in doing this. And now I'm excited that it's over. We're going from 53 million monthly inflation. And after this, it's like a little under 20 million. And, we're going to add other components back in, and hopefully there'll be some syncs as we do. But until those other things are live, tomorrow is going to mark something like maybe as much as 60 or 70% reduction in the total amount of SPS that goes out, or like that's the impact of having lost the airdrop. And so that to me is huge. That's better than a halving. So I'm excited. I'm grateful for what we did. I think we distributed it great, and that was a wonderful plan. The DEC is the only thing that I think was a little bit wonky. So prices of that skyrocketed and dropped and was all over the map, an unintended consequence. So we'll keep that in mind for the other ones kind of going down the road of like whatever other projects we end up working on. But I'm super stoked, and we're building this game and doing everything that we can to go make it awesome. And as a consequence, or just my hope is that people are excited and want to go own this token, and ideally there's more people that want to own it than want to sell it. Aggie, can you say happy birthday to my hubby Baron? I'm gonna go Baron. Yeah, hey Baron. Shout out to you. Although I'm not gonna do shout outs very much. Lithian's been here and does a bunch. So, but if you want shout outs, or you want like the ability to get Aggie to say something, I really think it's the Splinterlands TV that'll get you that. All right, your daddy is asking here at 919, what if any information can be shared about the current discussions with exchanges in regard to listing SPS? Crypto.com, albeit a legitimate exchange, limited a large portion of the community from participating and trading SPS. The United States is actually back and listed. So I think that's what you were mentioning, but they're good to go. Can you share what sort of fee structures and demand these exchanges ask for from the Splinterlands community? I don't know what I want to share. I don't think I can share anything just yet, but there are some great discussions that are happening. We're in touch with the exchanges, and Crypto.com won't be our only major for that much longer. And then what can you share about fee structures and demands that these exchanges ask for? If there's any work that happens, that's typically anything that happens with exchanges, whether it's us or other people, that all happens under NDA. So you can't. There really aren't any of these any project that can go out and tell you I spent X and that's how I got a listing or something. If they do, they're probably breaking whatever terms or conditions that they have. So that's not going to happen. Okay. Question. Do you believe we will all be richer than our wildest dreams and we will all live on a Splinterlands island? I don't think we're all going to live on Splinterlands island. It's hard. You got kids somewhere. You can't just move to island whenever you feel like it. And richer than our wildest dreams. I mean, everybody has different dreams. So I don't know, but hopefully everybody's done well and feels pretty good about having participated here. EVT is asking, any thoughts on whether the game has become a little convoluted currently? Not only do new players have to learn the core game mechanics, they also need to digest collection power, SP, focus, rating, rank, format, etc. There's a lot for someone to learn who may only give the game 10 minutes to win them over. I still think an interactive demo would solve that and help retention. So interactive demo is good. We want to get a little bit further in like, here's the game and we're good with it. It's a mixed bag. Splinterlands, to me, like if you look on the side of a board game, there's typically like, here's the level of difficulty that's involved. And Splinterlands is high. I mean, like mechanically, it's really simple. Pick a summoner, pick a bunch of monsters. But like for all of the stuff that's in the game, it's actually pretty complicated. And I think that's wonderful and amazing and adds something robust. Part of the reason why we talk about things like tower defense games and these Warner Music product and things like that is because we also want something that's really simple to get in. So, if I only had something really simple, I'd probably be sitting here saying what we really need is something more complex to go keep people intrigued, and the hardcore avid aficionados, give them something that they want. And because I'm on that end already, I feel like one of my needs is that I really need something simpler and, super easy to digest to be a part of. So I think the answer is not you need something complicated or you need something simple. I think the answer is you need to have a buffet of options. And within those, people can find the right spots for themselves. DJ Bagman is asking, study guide for lore trivia compiled in one place, like I think that's coherent story or something. Animations detailing current world of Praetoria would be helpful to new people to become familiar with the characters. So we have lore, but we can definitely go expand lore to be even more. My hope is that we have like the video that was posted earlier. I thought that was amazing, and I'd love to see like 1,000 more of those created. So I don't know. We'll see what the creative team has bandwidth for, and hopefully there's more. We share the stories, but hopefully there's some animations, and then maybe there's other stuff that ends up in game too. The recent announcement posts suggest SPS ranked battles are pooled by league and chess, but not the battle rewards. Can you confirm battle rewards will not be pooled per league? This is a golden opportunity to force people, especially bots, to spread out and not make the same mistake that was made with DEC, where bronze and silver bot players drained all the DEC rewards. No, I think that it is pooled per league. And so that you might have 1 million bots, but they're all fighting over the same pool. So the trick is to not just be in the lowest level possible, because there the competition will be biggest, and that's where you'll see the fewest rewards. So I believe those are pooled, but if anybody wants to correct me, they can. Question: Land before the zombie apocalypse. I know you get asked this all the time, but what's your ETA on land? Do you think realistically end of the year? So there's a roadmap. The next time that Hardpoint's on, we can go over the roadmap, and we have people working on land, and we're trying to get it out. So when we're doing things like Rift Watchers, we're really not trying to like stop one project and make another. We're trying to run these things in parallel. And with a bear market, it's hard to go, have enough people that do all the things so that they're 100% like isolated and working on just one product. We can't hire quite as many people as we want to move this thing as fast as we possibly could. So we get like, we're doing the best we can with the folks that we have to get this thing out as quickly as humanly possible. So hopeful that there's parts of this that are in Q3, Q4. I don't think we'll see utility right away, but I do think that by the end of the year, you should be able to go claim take your plots, your tracks, and your regions, and actually turn them into NFTs. And they were talking about the non-card market, and hopefully that's in preparation for having all these other like NFTs floating around, and how we're going to deal with that. We got the FOMO Aggie back. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Just getting out of this, out of the airdrop, to me is huge. So I'm excited to be here tomorrow and be able to talk through that. Hopefully we've already put in the no more questions because we're getting to the end. Is it possible to get card bundles and common cards, cheap cards, because the gold 1 account gets same and similar rewards than bronze 3 account? Is it possible to get cards bundled in common cards? I'm not exactly sure what Black Hero is asking there. Unblazable. Any chance you could provide a room for Splinterlands TV streamers looking to attend Splinterfest? I could help with the setup. I don't know. For now, why don't you reach out to like Chatter or somebody, and we'll see if see what else is necessary, and if there's other people that want to do that same thing. Yeah, Mr. Dragon is saying I play wild because I have tons of cards. The OGs, I don't even know. I don't know how people play. How do you animals live like this was just modern. Like I love my old school collection. I don't know that I could play without it. And I'm not saying that it's not fun, because Damian Wolf is saying it's actually pretty fun. I'm not doubting that it's fun. I'm saying that me as a man and a human, I am too limited to be able to embrace that much challenge all at once. Aggie, what do you think the future has in store for Splinterlands? Man, the number of things that we are trying to do, I think we're a very ambitious company, and we have just incredibly talented people that are helping to guide this and make all these things happen. And I'm seeing it on the marketing side. I'm seeing it on the product development side. I'm seeing it in business development. And I know it can take a while to get some of these like announcements out there, but we're playing with the big boys now. We're not like, this isn't one of those things where it's like, it's just me, Matt, and Nate trying to go, put some crap together. It's like, this is a professional operation, and our business is respected. I'll talk to some of like the biggest companies in the world, and I'll be like, let me tell you about Splinterlands. And they're like, Aggie, I'm already familiar with Splinterlands. I want to know this. And I get like goosebumps and shit. I'm just like, wow, these people, this is like one of the biggest companies in the world, and they're telling me they already know about my company and my game. That's amazing. So we're definitely catching the eyes of big players, and there's no doubt in my mind about that. Phaeton's asking, ever since the peak last year, have the total players increased? Has the number of players increased since Chatter came on board, or has it decreased, and by how much? What's the plan to increase the player base? Yeah, so that's what the marketing updates are for, and it comes from so many different places of working with products, working with streamers, working and building our community, finding, to me, the magic is finding people that have already gathered community and finding ways to rope their community into ours and sharing that experience with us. We can grind out one user at a time, one YouTube video at a time, something like that. But it's a lot faster when we can partner with a big company and just bring them in. Okay, I don't know how many more questions I have in this mix or in me, because it's getting pretty late here. Question, is it possible to get notification for plays, Insta events that our power and staking requirements are okay in requirements, like a Brawl notification system? Again, I'm having a little bit of a hard time interpreting Black Hero's questions. Is it possible to get notification for plays, Insta events that our power and staking requirements are okay in requirements? I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me interpret that a little better. Question, chance to set Brawl timer like tournament timer? I think it's 3:30, right? I mean, with the Gladius cards, you have to think about your strategy so much more, and time runs out so often here. If the players really wanted a longer timer, that's something that I'd be open to, and that's a good thing for the Brawlhalla discussions with WeirdBeard. So if that's something that you want to see and that's important, then I would do that there. Rainey's asking, if merits are given as rewards now, can you make the gladiator cards and packs only valid if you are in the guild you earn them in? Meaning no guild hopping to use other guild stores. They should disappear from your inventory if you guild swap. The gladiator cards and packs only valid if you are in the guild you earn them in. That feels a little extra. That sounds a little too harsh. I don't want to say no, because if that's what the players want, I'm not going to stop it. So that feels like a big change, because that's like not only soulbound to you, but soulbound to you and your guild. So, if the players really want it, then, I'm not going to stand in the way, but that's another Brawlhalla thing. Elephantium at 9:39. So I'm like, 21 minutes behind. The change made a while back to combat bots that we can't see our next opponent turned out to be solved pretty quick by programmers. Would it be possible to roll that back? Yes, anything is possible. This stuff is code. What else do we have here? Modern stuff, memes. Black Hero again. Is possible to separate different level of rewards because we have 3 leagues and a main league. Why I want to stay in Silver 1 if I get the same rewards that are in Silver 3. Is it possible to separate the different level of rewards? I mean, I think that we have separated the different levels of rewards, and it's designed pretty well so that you get better rewards. And it's funky because you don't necessarily get better rewards in Silver 1 because there's randomization that's part of this. So you never know what you're going to get. But you are more likely to get better rewards in Silver 1 than Silver 3, and that's already the way it works. Are we getting Chaos Legion skills and skins? Any updates to skins being more than just cosmetics? I was punting on that. Nate, is there anything you want to add to that?
Well, I will say this for skins in general. In fact, that's something I talked to the art lead earlier today about. Is that once Rift Watchers is in our rearview mirror, we are going to attempt a change in our pipeline, in the way our workflow in terms of how we create the card art. And part of those things we're going to experiment with is when we make a character, we're going to make a character with a whole bunch of different, different apparel, different hat, different tattoos, whatever. In other words, skins. We're going to see if we can't find a way to make this happen. So yeah, it's in the works. We're seeing what we can do.
There's a request for a beer drinking dwarf. I think that's a card request and not a Splinterfest request. But I'm not positive. I think it's like a card request or card art request. So, I don't know. The request has been made. We have a Grumpy Dwarf. Is a Grumpy Dwarf drinking a beer in that? I don't remember if he's drinking or not. I know that we do have a Grumpy Dwarf.
The guy's on. Well, isn't he like on fire?
I mean, he is grumpy. Yeah, I don't know if he's definitely not drinking. He's like shouting.
Yeah, that would be more hazardous than just being on fire, drinking alcohol. He'd be more on fire. I don't know.
Okay. So we're going to be back on stream tomorrow. The last airdrop goes out at noon, so we'll be streaming during that airdrop. We'll be here for about an hour. We should be able to go see the changeover to Nate's new design and new UI on the site. I believe that will go live tomorrow. I think it's a huge opportunity for this entire community. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for the airdrop that happened. I'm so stoked that it's ending. I think there's a lot of pretty awesome changes that are on the horizon. And I think getting things like Rift Watchers going, and I think some of these things will have compounding effects that, like we sold in total, like we're 1/3 of the way through the next node phase. And I think if SPS prices increase, it'll make the node sale go faster, which in turn might make the whole thing like increase in price even faster. So that's not financial advice. There's no prediction. I don't know what will happen, but that I just wanted to share. That's one of the thoughts that I have of how this thing might go. And that, whatever Aggie thinks is not something I go base your whole freaking financial portfolio on. But I think that there's a real chance that, if this thing catches steam, there's really like some positive feedback loops that I think will be pretty awesome. So who knows? Here's rooting for SBS, and hopefully, if there's like 70% less of it starting tomorrow, that can be exciting times for us. So I think that's it. We're 5 minutes over, and it's 10 p.m. and we're streaming tomorrow. So let's call it here. To the community here and asking questions and participating and just digging this thing. Thanks for being here. To the team members, especially a warm welcome to the new people to the chat, and thank you for your art. Thank you for your work. And Thanks for the support that you provide, and to the kind of the regular crew. Thanks for being here week after week. And Mancer, thanks for rolling out new updates and making this game awesome. So proud to be part of this community. So proud to help lead it in as many ways as I can. Really stoked to have people that I can just kind of punt giant products to and leave them in good hands and know that they'll do an even better job than I can. I try to surround myself by experts or surround myself with experts. So thanks everybody. Thanks for being here. And we'll catch you tomorrow at noon. Come join us for the stream as we send our gratitude and our well wishes to the airdrop, and look forward to the next kind of what is it? Epoch of Splinterlands. Thanks guys, and have a great night.